Hello, this is Kate from dailytarotgirl.com, and this is your weekly tarot card reading. And for this reading, I'm using the Housewives Tarot. Okay, so I've shuffled the cards, and I'm going to draw 3 cards for this reading. Each card is going to represent a different aspect or a different portion of the upcoming week. And I'll just zoom in a little here. Okay, so we'll start with the first card, which is going to be Monday and Tuesday of the upcoming week. And I love this deck. This deck is actually a really, really fun deck to work with. Okay, so we've got the 5 of Swords at the beginning of the week. And the 5 of Swords is, this is an interesting card. It's one of the cards, along with Justice. The 5 of Swords is one of the cards in the tarot that I struggle with constantly. And I have for the last decade. I always have a hard time interpreting this card, so we'll see how I do here. So the image or the feeling I'm getting when I look at this card is one of a work in progress. I'm seeing this pattern of a dress, and I'm seeing thread and scissors all around this dress, and I'm getting the sense that there is a work in progress. Now, because I know that the swords represent thoughts and the mind, I feel like the beginning of the week is a time when we're going to be working on some of our self-defeating thoughts. They may not even be necessarily negative thoughts, but thoughts that are not helpful for us. They're self-defeating kind of thoughts, loser thoughts. And we're working on understanding why we have those thoughts, understanding the power those thoughts have over us, and learning how to control them or to eliminate them or deal with them or ignore them. So I feel like that's kind of the theme of the beginning of the week. So you may notice at the beginning of the week that you're having a lot of self-defeating thoughts. Whatever it is that you're doing, you might notice your mind is being overly critical of you. Maybe you're kind of cutting yourself down. You're not giving yourself a lot of slack. Who knows what it is? But what's important is that you notice these thoughts and that you're aware of them, and that you ask yourself, what effect are these thoughts having on me right now? Is this helpful? Is it helping me in any way? And if it isn't helping you, then see if you can take those thoughts less seriously. You're probably never going to eliminate them entirely, but take them less seriously and see if you can kind of laugh at those thoughts. And then moving on to the middle of the week, Wednesday and Thursday, we've got the Knight of Wands. And the Knight of Wands, especially in this deck, he looks like a toilet plunger and a pot on his head. He looks like he's a bit of a troublemaker, and the Knight of Wands is notorious for being very adventurous. He can't seem to sit still very long. He's definitely kind of a little bit ADD, and he's got to be moving, he's got to be doing things, and he kind of gets into trouble and he gets into mischief. So I feel like the middle of the week is a good time for us to really engage our adventure spirit. Go on adventures. Don't just sit at home doing nothing. Go out and do something that you haven't done before. Put yourself in an environment that's totally unfamiliar to you. I don't know. I always do this with exercise. So I always go to a class, like a kickboxing class or something, or like a pole dancing class or something that I've just never done before. I'm totally not familiar with, and I feel like it does a lot to kind of juice up my creativity and just brings more excitement to my life. So see if you can put yourself in a situation that's very unfamiliar to you and kind of exciting to you. Okay, so I think I'll come back to him in a bit, but I want to move on to the last card, which is the card for the end of the week, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And we've got the World, and the World is a card of completion. I believe it is the last card in the tarot deck. And it really is a card of a cycle. It represents a cycle coming to an end. It's kind of like the last card. So it's kind of nice that we have it in the last the last day of the week, or the end of the week. So it's things being completed. So whatever it is that you're working on this week, whether it's like negative thoughts or being more adventurous in your life, a lot of those challenges and journeys that you go on will, I don't want to say come to an end or to come to a close, but you'll get what it was that you set out to get out of those things. So I feel like there's a lot of potential to really get to the bottom of some of, why you have some of your negative thoughts, and find some solutions to some issues that you might be having. So it's a very, very positive card. Another thing with the world, though, is I get a sense, again, of adventure and travel. And I'm just like looking at the picture. It looks like there's like a recipe box with different, it says family, home, garden, money, auto, okay? And then there's like a picture of this family on top of the world, and pictures of houses and stuff like that. It's funny because when I look at the pictures, it has like almost a domestic kind of vibe to it, but yet overall, when I look at this picture, I get the sense of like adventures and travel. And I kind of said that with the Knight of Wands as well. So I feel like this week is really about getting out there, like putting yourself out there, getting out there, letting go of fear that holds you back. And I think that that's what this Five of Swords has to do with, is fear that holds us back. If we can kind of like shed some of that fear, as if you're kind of like taking off a cloak or a robe, if you can like shed that cloak of fear, it really frees you up to have really healing, wonderful, exciting experiences, which I think those exciting experiences are represented by the Knight of Wands and the world. If you can be like the Knight of Wands, moving through the world, you'll have all kinds of wonderful experiences. And I feel like that's the theme of the week, is adventure and travel, whether it's like actually traveling to another country or another city, or it could just be traveling to a different part of your city, or traveling to, a different group. Like, I think sometimes we get stuck in our particular social groups, or, if you have hobbies or interests, you're kind of in that group. This could be about trying out different groups, different settings, like going to, I'm just saying, like a poetry group or a writing group or something like that. If you haven't done that before, kind of expanding your horizons a bit. And like I said before, putting yourself in social situations and places and environments that you're totally unfamiliar with. And when we do this, this is when we grow. It's when we put ourselves in unfamiliar environments. That's when we learn about ourselves. That's when we get inspired, we get ideas, and we really have that opportunity to grow a lot. Okay, so I've got a couple more minutes left, so I want to look at these cards again and see if there's any themes that are jumping out at me. I feel like, again, when I look at the Knight of Wands, I feel like this is about fearlessly moving forward in your life. And I'm not sure what that toilet plunger represents. The toilet plunger is like facing the Five of Swords, and I said the Five of Swords was about negative thoughts. And so, I guess metaphorically, those negative thoughts might be like clogging your life up, and that toilet plunger is like unclogging. I don't know. Feel free to share your own insights into that symbol of that toilet plunger, or some of the other symbols on the cards. If you have any insights or ideas, please feel free to share in the comments. And I feel like the world, when I look at this image of this box being opened, and I think of, opening Pandora's box, but I feel like it's not opening Pandora's box, it's opening the box of you and of your life. And I feel like there's this amazing kind of opening up that's taking place this week that feels very positive and very exciting. So I hope you have a wonderful week, and I hope you've enjoyed this reading. You can find out more about learning about tarot cards and tarot card reading on my website, dailytarotgirl.com. There's all kinds of fun stuff on my website. There's tarot exercises, videos, deck reviews, all kinds of stuff. So yeah, thanks so much for watching, and have a wonderful week.